Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Get your score predictions down below. Let me know what you think about the team selection as well. What is up, guys? It's James from Kop Logic. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to our first match preview of the season. It is, of course, our opening game, Chelsea versus Liverpool. I was going to do this yesterday on the Friday, which is probably when I'll normally try and do these, but, you know, there was a lot going on with the Caicedo thing. Just on the Caicedo thing, since it's relevant to this game. As of right now, nothing's changed in that situation, and we will, of course, be updating you guys through the day if anything does change, anything concrete at least, because right now it's all a lot of noise and no one's really sure what's happening. So to start with, I'm going to go through what we're going to do in these videos. We're obviously going to do a match prediction at the end. We're also going to do a predicted lineup for Liverpool, and we'll talk about any important anomalies like injuries and those kind of things that might affect the result. So first of all, what I would normally do is look at the last 6 head-to-heads. I'm not sure that's going to help us in the case of Chelsea, but we'll do it anyway. Last 6 head-to-heads between Liverpool and Chelsea have all been draws. 4 of them have been 0-0 games, so you could say this is quite an easy prediction. It's going to be 0-0. I don't think that's going to be the case. We'll get into that in a second. Does not leave us a lot to go on. And on top of that, I think this game, more than any, this is probably one of the worst games to have to open the season with, because nobody really knows what to expect from Chelsea. There's so many variables with this Chelsea team at the moment. There's a new manager. It's like half the team is new. They've bought so many new players. We don't know if they're going to gel or not. We don't know how they're doing in training, really. We've got the preseason games to look at. I'll take a look at them in a second, but new manager, new players, instability at the club, and the situation I think between Liverpool and Chelsea is going to feed into this game, certainly from a crowd perspective. The Caicedo Lavia thing, and we also don't know if any of those players are going to be there. We know they won't play, but let's say one of the 2 teams gets Caicedo. Will he appear on the bench? Well, who knows at this point, and how much will that affect the game? It's definitely going to affect the atmosphere. So moving away from those 6 head-to-heads, because they don't really tell us much, and again, we don't know if it's really going to be anything close to the Chelsea team we've seen last season. We know they were awful last season. How Poch is going to line them up, how he's going to choose to play, maybe that will change that. We're about to find out. I think this is the game that every other team that's going to play Chelsea is going to be able to look at and gauge from. We unfortunately are in the position where we don't really have that much data to go off. Obviously we've got the preseason, so Chelsea's preseason, 2 draws and 2 wins. Again, we can't really gauge that much from that, and it's tough, right? Because everyone always says preseason doesn't matter, and in a lot of ways it doesn't, because of the amount of rotation that goes on in preseason. The worry for me is when you look at Liverpool's preseason, 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, but we conceded 11 goals in that time, which is not great. Liverpool do still seem to be shipping goals. That's obviously exacerbated by the fact we don't have a DM. This new system with the inverted role that Trent's playing is definitely exposing the defensive line. It is a huge worry, especially if Klopp's going to go with that system, and I think he will. We'll get into that with the player selection, but I think he will go with that system. So I am a little bit worried there that Liverpool are shipping a lot of goals. In terms of injuries that might affect the game, this is where Chelsea are suffering a little bit. We know Nkunku's definitely out the game. We know Fofana is definitely out the game, and we know Badiashile, I believe yesterday, was stated that he will not start in the Liverpool game, so he's out the game as well. Madueke, another injury they have, I think is expected to return tomorrow, so it might see him on the bench perhaps. Quite a few injury issues there for Chelsea that could affect them quite heavily. I'm glad that Nkunku isn't going to be playing, I'm not going to lie. Think he is quite a threat. In terms of Liverpool with injuries, only Thiago and Bajcetic, they've returned to training, but there's absolutely no way they play in this game, so they're out as well, which does mean we definitely don't have a 6. So the issues we faced pre-season with not having a defensive midfielder and also that inverted Trent role, they're definitely going to show up in this game, unfortunately. So let's cover that first in terms of the team that Jurgen Klopp is going to go with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and predict the team that I think will play, the team that Jurgen Klopp will go with. In the future, I might change this to the team that I would pick, but right now I'm going to go with the players that I'm pretty sure Jurgen Klopp is going to go with. So let's start with the goalkeeper. This one's going to be an obvious one. Of course, it is going to be Alisson Becker. So Alisson Becker in goal, and in terms of the back 4, I think we all know who that's going to be. Same back 4 we always see, so let's just get all of them out of the way right now. So we are of course going with Robbo and Trent as the fullbacks, Virgil van Dijk and Konate as the centre backs. Now I'm expecting Trent to be playing in that inverted role, so we're going to see the back 3 of Robbo, Virgil, Konate more than likely, with Trent in that inverted role pushing forwards up into the midfield. I'm a little bit concerned about this, I'm not going to lie. I don't like the way Robbo plays in that back 3. I don't think it suits him. Until we can do something about this back line and getting a DM, I really don't want to see Trent playing that inverted role, but Klopp has been persistent on it throughout the preseason campaign, so this one's gonna have to be in Klopp we trust, and hope that this one works out. I think in terms of the defensive fielder, I think we'll probably start Caicedo in that role. So in terms of the defensive midfielder, I am going to base this on the last game we played. We've seen a number of players pick up this role throughout pre-season. We've seen Curtis Jones do it. We've even seen Trent Alexander-Arnold do it, and we also seen Alexis McAllister do it. Now, I've put Trent as the right back, so you know I'm not going to go with him. I don't think it's going to be Curtis Jones. I think it is going to be Alexis McAllister. Reason being, he played the 6 in the last game of pre-season, and I think that game was a huge indication on where Jurgen Klopp's going to go with this. So, and obviously we've not signed, as of right now, we've not signed a DM. Even if we do, it's too late for them to get in this game. So for me, it's going to have to be, unfortunately, Alexis McAllister. It's not the position that he excels in, certainly. Liverpool really don't have an option right now. Shout out to FSG for that one. I'm going with Alexis McAllister, and then the other 2 midfielders pretty much take care of themselves at this point. I'm going Dominic Szoboszlai, obviously, and partnering him, Cody Gakpo. Again, it's the same setup we saw in the last pre-season game, and I think it's really the only option we have there. He could go Curtis Jones, but then it's what do you do with Gakpo at that point? I think we've got enough attacking options that we can utilise Gakpo, and I also think the fact that Klopp went with this in the last pre-season game is again an indication that that's what he's going to go with. So let's move on to the forwards. We know who's going right wing, so we'll get him out the way right now. It's Mo Salah. So Mo Salah's an obvious one. Don't think we'll have any arguments there. On the left wing, there is a point of contention here because we could go Luis Diaz, we could go Diogo Jota. I think right now and towards the end of pre-season, Luis Diaz looked really good. He looks like a huge threat. I'd definitely be starting with him. So for me, I'm going to go Luis Diaz. And striker is an interesting one because again, I think it's a huge point of contention. For me personally, I would be starting Darwin Núñez, and I'll tell you why. I think if you look back at pre-season, Darwin Núñez, at the start of pre-season, Núñez was absolutely on fire. The partnership between Núñez and Salah has been the best that we've seen all pre-season, with the 2 of them linking up so much with assists and goals. I actually think the pair of them together, Núñez and Salah, was our biggest threat throughout pre-season. For some reason, at some point, Jurgen Klopp decided to stop playing Núñez, started benching him and bringing him on with that sort of second half team where he's playing with the kids. I don't know why he did that, honestly. Like, it felt like they gave him the number 9. He started pre-season really well. He looked a real threat. It looked like he'd got his confidence back, and for whatever reason, then Jurgen Klopp decided to rotate the side and start putting him on with the kids. Little bit unfair in my opinion, and if it was up to me, I would definitely be playing Darwin Núñez in this game. I think especially alongside Mo Salah, he looks like a serious threat. If it was up to me, I would play Darwin Núñez and I would probably play Diogo Jota off the left, but I am going to try and predict here what Jurgen Klopp would do, so I think it is going to be Luis Diaz on the left, and unfortunately Darwin, I am going to have to get rid of you, because unfortunately I do think Jurgen Klopp is going to go with Diogo Jota. That's my lineup. Alisson Becker in goal, the usual back four, a 6 of Alexis McAllister with Dominic Szoboszlai and Cody Gakpo partnering up there in the midfield, and then a front 3 of Luis Diaz on the left wing, Mo Salah on the right wing, and Diogo Jota up front. We know Klopp's going to make a substitution probably 70 minutes in, like he always does, although he's got no James Milner this season, so that'll be interesting. I would be bringing Darwin on 60 minutes probably, personally, but let's wait and see what happens. In terms of score prediction, because that's what we're going to finish up with, you can see down here the win probabilities at the moment of me filming this. Chelsea 33%, draw 27%, Liverpool 40%. I honestly think any result, you couldn't go far wrong here in terms of prediction. This one's going to be so hard to predict, but I don't want to go with a draw or a loss, especially on the opening weekend. And to be honest, with the situation that we're in right now with Chelsea, the whole Caicedo Lavia thing, I would absolutely love to go and smash them. Unfortunately, after everything I've said, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be a very tight game. I am going to go with 2-1. I was debating going with a 2-0, but I think if you look at Liverpool's pre-season, the amount of goals we've shipped, I think it's optimistic to think that we won't concede. But I'm certainly not going to predict a loss, and the win percentage does put us slightly favourites there on 40%, so I am going to follow the win percentage. I think it could very easily be a draw, but I'm going to go with a very close Liverpool win, 2-1 for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Get your score predictions down below. Let me know what you think about the team selection as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for any news on the whole Caicedo situation as well, and as always, we will of course see you guys in the next video. Peace.